Hello everyone, welcome back. Now I am going to continue with the previous video. In the previous video, yes, we have created a cube. That is, we have designed the cube. Now what we have to do is, we have to process the cube. Nothing but we have to deploy the cube so that we can access the cube and we can see the data. In order to do that, this one we have to deploy to a SSAS database. SSAS database is nothing but, by default, when you use the connect option, like when you create a connect, you'll have the here database engine, that is nothing but database. But if you want to connect to SSAS, you have to select the analysis services, then you'll get the server and click connect, then you'll have this connected. Okay, in the database you can see the symbol, this with database symbol. In the cube you can see the cube symbol, that's multi-dimensional. Under the cube, whatever the stuff I have created, I can deploy under the databases. Whatever that I deploy, that will be shown up under the databases. Okay, so since this is my first project, I don't have any databases created. What I'll be doing is that in order for the first project to deploy, I need to go to the properties. In the properties, you got the deployment. That's where you will be giving the server name. You'll also give the database name. What is the database you want to name it as? You can create. Under the database, you'll have the cube names. Okay, so you can do whatever name you want. You can give. I have given my name as first SSAS cube and the server name is Virat. I am done. I have given this. Good. Now what I will do, I'll go to this and deploy. If I give the deploy, as I said here, there are multiple steps, right? You will design, then deploy. After deploying, process, right? But now if I deploy it, automatically the cube will deploy and it get processed. It will deploy, it will get processed. Okay, I'll give deploy. So what will happen? It will build. Okay, it was failed. So you can see it here, it is a red, so it was failed. I'll see what is the issue. I can see ID, product name, don't see this first one. Okay, so there will be something with related, even though this is the one thing I don't like. You got multiple errors. Out of these errors, the main thing is because of the connection one. This is the one which so most of the people, you will see, okay, first you got this error message, you will see idea of product name or product was being processed. There was nothing to worry. The only issue was related to this. Since I've created many cubes, so I can directly point it to the issue. It says the connection could not be made. Why? Because when I open the data source, I'll have the impersonation here. Okay, generally this is a data source. In the impersonation, I have given the service account that I don't have access. That's the reason I'll give the username and password. My username is Virat/Baddam, B Baddam, and my password, whatever the password I have, I'll give my password here. Done. Now if I deploy it, now it will get deployed. Okay, during the deployment process, it will show which one it is processing the database done. You can see at the bottom. Okay, you'll get that description listed. Now it is processing the key and see it got deployed. Everything is deployed. Now we are good. Deployed and processed, it happened at the same time. If I click deploy, it has happened both the time, same time. Now if I click again the deploy, same, because there was no changes, so it was not deployed. If I make changes, then it will be deployed. Okay, but if I want to process the cube, then I can click it. The cube will be refreshed now. Okay, done. The cube will be refreshed. That is the process. Deploy means whatever the changes you made, you can deploy. But processing, you can if you want to refresh the data, that is nothing but the process here. Now what I'll do, I'll go to the database, refresh the databases. Now I can see the database called first SSAS cube. We'll match the data here. Okay, so and one more thing you have to remember, in the T-SQL, if I want to run anything on the T-SQL, like on the data from the, if I want to run anything on the database, if I want to extract some data from a database, I'll be writing T-SQL queries. But for SSAS cubes, I can't write T-SQL queries. I should always use the MDX queries. It has a separate language called MDX. Now, I'll be covering the MDX later on, but instead of the MDX, you can browse the cube directly. You can just drag and drop. For doing that, what I'll do, I'll expand my cube. When I expand, whatever stuff we have created here, data sources, data source views, cubes, dimensions, that all will be shown up here same. Now I'll go and click on the cube, then I'll browse the cube. When I click the browse, I'll get a window with different formats. See here. What I'll do, I have the out queries that I have written on the database, right? I'll select this, right click on this, click on the right tab window. So both are separate side by side. Okay. Now we see, for previously what I did, let's assume if I want to aggregate at the product alternate key and see the sum of each product, I'll be doing order by. What I got the alternate key and the quantity. I got everything. Okay, just see here. I'll go to the measures, is the one where I have the order quantity. I'll select the drag and drop the order quantity, drag and drop. If I want to remove, I can directly drag from here and go back. That's it. Drag and drop order quantity. Then I'm getting that product alternate key from the dim product. So I have the key called dim product. Then it is a product alternate key. I'll drag and drop the product alternate key. Now see, whatever the quantity I am seeing here, the same quantity is shown in the cube, that is aggregated. So it is pre-calculated. So if I want to see the same data again, if some user wants to see the same data again, they have to run the query here in the from the database. That itself, that query will go to the database, it exists, show the display. But in the cube, it is pre-calculated. So all the users can just use a pre-calculated data. You can also test that with the other one. I'll test that with the class one. Sorry, I'll test that with the class one. This one, product. I got the class, right? I'll select the class. Just do the product alternate key, drag and drop. Then I'll select the class. See, null instead of null, it is showing blank. Whatever the quantity you got, it's matching here. It's matching with the database. It's matching with the table. If you want to see the product, yes, you can see the product too, like with the year, fiscal year, and that all. See, this is what I got. I'll drag and drop it here. If I want to see the fiscal period, yes, I'll go to the, it's a, what is that? It's a fiscal year and joining on order date. So this comes under the order date. Order date, it's a fiscal year, and then English month name, and then month number of the years. Okay, it's not sorted. That one also we can say. If you see 2010 Jan 144, 2010 February 144, 2010 April 157. See, the data is exactly the same, but here you have to write the queries, and for every time you write the queries, and whoever wants to use this data, they have to execute that queries. Even though it returns the same data, but they have to calculate it again and again. But in the cube, the data is pre-calculated. That's it, done. It's pre-calculated and stored. If you want it, just you can write a query and you can get it. This is a cube. So simple. Now in the later videos, we are going to learn something more complex thing like hierarchies. And here, even though when I run the cube, the data is not sorted, so I can make the data to be in the sorted automatically by default. At the same time, I can add some more features, like if I remove the fiscal year, okay, the data is aggregated. So I got the data aggregated for every month. The year got removed. Okay, so we'll be seeing something kind of stuff. That all we'll be seeing in the next one. Next in the coming videos. Okay, this is a simple cube. So we got the first we have designed the cube, then after that we have deployed the cube to the database, and after that we have browsed the cube. Browsing cube means go under the database, you will have the name of the database. Under the database, you go to the cube, click on the cube and browse. When you browse, you will get a new window. That's it. And if you want to refresh, you can refresh here. Sometimes you might change the data in the table, and if you want to update, you can refresh it here. You will get that. Okay. And one more thing is that if you see, if you want to do any reconnect, you can do the reconnect. That is, the connection will be reconnected. Now you can see one more. If you click here, if you want to use as a different user, you can select that user. Okay, then it will come according to that user. I will be seeing this all when we go to the securities. This is the cube. This is the SSAS cube, and for SSAS cube, you will not be, and see, I'll be getting the data here. I'll execute this. I got the data. At the backend, MDX query used. I want to see the MDX query. This is the one. If I click here, I'll get the MDX query. Whatever the query I used, I need to use for getting the data. So this is a query I had to write at the back end for getting the data. This is a MDX query. It is not, see, you can see the syntaxes are different on columns, on rows. Okay, the syntaxes are totally different. This is nothing but the MDX. This all we are going to learn once we are done with all the cube concepts. Then we'll go and learn about the MDX queries. Okay, this is a design mode, drag and drop, and if you want to see the query you can click it. Okay, so we are good for today's class, and I'm going to cover the other topics in other next videos. Thank you very much guys, have a good day, take care, bye.